If you're a creative small business owner and you're wondering if you absolutely need to get a brand photography shoot for your business, I want to tell you one thing. You need it because your business needs you to be seen by your people. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, a brand photographer is on here on YouTube telling us that we need a brand photography shoot. Now, not in every situation. You don't need a brand photography shoot, but if you are at the point in your business where you want to up level, you want to break through, you want to look professional, and you want to be consistent with your content, your online presence, and you're willing to take this marketing thing seriously because you know the potential, you see the potential, and maybe you've even experienced what that looks like and the success that can come from online marketing. That is why you might need a brand photography shoot as a small business owner. Now, there are so many reasons and so many benefits to getting photography done for your business, but one of the main reasons that you will want to do this eventually as a small business owner is because the more that you show up to your audience, the more they trust you. It is simple math. It is that simple. The more you show up, the more you're trusted. Even if you're just doing your business, it doesn't really necessarily have to be talking head videos like this. But of course, that is also a little bit of a plus side to having long form content. But showing up to your audience also does a couple more things. It makes you more relatable, and it also shines a light on your uniqueness. Why somebody would go for you over somebody else. And then in terms of relatability, this is all about getting vulnerable. This is all about opening up to your audience and letting people know who you are. Why did you start your business and things like that. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. And I don't necessarily mean that I'm going to show you how to do this and you're just going to have to hire a brand photographer. These tips are obviously made for the situation where you are considering getting a brand photography shoot and you do, and this is what comes from it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get a brand photographer or a photographer period. You could still reap these benefits even if you don't have a photographer doing this content for you and it's mainly just somebody else on your team. As long as it's somebody other than you, because we want you in the content, that is where you're going to see these benefits. If you're new here, hi, my name is Liz. I am the head photographer and content strategist here at Essence Presents. If you have questions about content marketing, you want to know how it pertains to your business, how you could utilize it, what even is it, I invite you to my live stream session. I do one live stream every month that is focused on your questions. I answer them live. You can be there live or you can just watch it after I record it and leave your comments in this video so that I have them and I can answer them in that live stream. The live stream will be April 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. So I invite you to join me for the live session or leave a comment, leave your question, and I will answer it in that live stream. So let's get into the 3 main reasons why your small business can benefit from getting a brand photography or video shoot. Number 1, relatability. This is more of a philosophical thought about this, but what causes and what are the effects of relatability? The reason that relatability sticks so much to people is because when they feel like they are not alone, you leave a place in their heart, especially if it's coming directly from you. And the more authentic you are, the more you will attract people who relate. And when you attract people who relate, you leave a space in their heart. And the reason that this happens is because people are so complex. People have so many levels to them. There's people who are very open and bouncy and very lively. And then there are people who are a bit more grounded and serious and things like that. But if you can be somebody's light in terms of something that they deal with, whether the fact that they don't have any time during the day or they don't feel like they have time during the day, you relate to their experience as a mother, or you relate to their experience as a business owner, or you relate to their experience as somebody who is living in a specific area and looking to get more opportunities locally. The more you can relate to one thing that is similar to somebody, the more they are going to trust you. It is just a fact, and it is one of the most basic truths, but also one of the most powerful things that I think a lot of people miss. So here are some prompts that can help you become more relatable in your content. What is your story? What have you come from, like your experience? And what have you overcome? Visually representing this is literally giving a voice to others who have not had the strength to also speak up about it. And you're basically a mirror, you're a sounding board for people who relate to your experience and are actually talking about it. And when I say visually, it could mean that you are speaking, or it could mean you are visually representing what you've come from, your story, and things like that. Okay, so how do we incorporate this into a brand photography session? This really does look like incorporating your kids and your family, if that is something that has been a huge part of your life in your journey in business. It's involving your favorite things like flowers and coffee and the lifestyle that you live, because a brand photographer is really, if they're a good brand photographer, they want to get the whole picture of who you are as a business, and that is going to identify the brand, because the brand is really just this outer mask, this outer identity for your business. So it's your art, it's your hobbies, it's all the things that make you who you are. And best of all, these are all opportunities for you to connect deeper with your audience through relatable subject matter and relatable interests. Number 2, character building equals trust building. Other than relatability, it's really important to build character in your content. Other than having relatability through interest, through hobbies, through the things that mean the most to you, and building that story, it's also important to build character in your brand photography. So how do you do this? This is really all about the non-tangible feeling that you bring to your brand. Are you super cheerful and therefore you bring a brightness to your brand content? Are you sophisticated and therefore your brand comes off as high esteemed and high quality? These are the elements of your brand that really reflect your values versus like your tangible interests, right? Relatability is related to the tangible experience of life and the things that other people can relate to. Oh, I love coffee. I love that art. I really love that she's into vintage. I really love that she's into this and she's a photographer and I need a photographer, right? That is an example of how that would look for me to come off. But this is more about the deep value that you hold that will inevitably come out in your content anyway. And this essentially is your character, your identity. Let's paint the picture a little deeper and let's use the example of having your family incorporated into your brand shoot, because that is something that is deeply meaningful to you on your journey, and it really expresses how you got to where you are today. To get into the character building of this scenario, answer this one question. What do you value most about your family? What do you love to do the most? What do you share that is uncomparable to any other family? These are little, almost inside jokes and unique things that you and your family incorporate together. And this is really bringing it down to the bare bones. Relatability is really the outer facing thing to bring people in, right? But your character goes a bit deeper and it really defines these critical questions about what you value that will ultimately reflect in your business anyway. The reason that this ties into trust is because you become more memorable as a business, as a brand, the more unique and specific you can get about your character. And when you're memorable, when somebody has a problem that you solve, they're going to remember you because you hit a chord with them, because you're being relatable first and foremost. That's like the number one thing that's important. You can only character build once you have that relatability. You've related to them, you've shown your true colors, and now you've left a mark on how they perceive you. Eventually, you will see the effects of this when people go onto your email list with kind of no prompt or nothing in return. That's a good sign that you are coming off as unique. Somebody wants to remember you, somebody wants your content in their email inbox. That means they trust you, and that means they almost want to remember you so that they can reach out to you when they have that problem that you have the solution for. Okay, let's get into number 3. The real and raw reality of being a business owner is not only impressive, but it's admirable. So people want to know that you are the best choice. So how do we do this through brand photography? This is really about showing kind of the conclusive elements of where you are today, why you've stuck it out this long as a business owner, because again, it's not easy to be a business owner. So to show kind of the reality of what you do and why you love it so much and why you've maybe sacrificed certain things to continue doing this, that shows your dedication to your craft, and therefore they know that you are not only dedicated to your own craft, but you're dedicated to the craft of serving them, because that's what your business does. That's the utility that it holds. A couple ways to do this is to really incorporate your past. Now, that's a little bit hard to do in a brand photography session, but something that I would recommend is showing parts of your history. Whether it's like the old building that you came from and here's the new building that you now own, and it's like a very big difference. Maybe it's like, here's the basement where I started, and here's now the office space that we have. I'm thinking in terms of that, but you could also incorporate, like, print out photos of your past in your brand photography shoots. There's a way that you can do this that's like very involved in the lifestyle aspect of showing, for instance, what you love. So for me, it would be coffee. Sitting on a coffee table, maybe engaging in a book or reading a coffee table book, looking into astrology and things like that. So if there was like an astrology coffee table book with a coffee in a mug, and then there are photos laid out of my past, where I came from, the beginnings, right? That is a really interesting and definitely unique way to showcase this raw and real reality of being a business owner. So let's round it up. A brand photography or video shoot is going to benefit you in 3 specific ways. Number 1, you are going to become more relatable to your audience, which means you're gonna grow, you're gonna connect to people. That is mainly, as I said, the outer shell. It is just showing people that they can relate to you and you also can serve them. And that is what is going to drive growth for you. And remember, we want to include you in these as much as possible. It's going to build character. And in turn, it's going to help build trust with your audience. When people know what you value as a business owner, they then take that next step other than relating to you, and they then want to hear about what you offer, and they want to hear about it on a consistent basis and remember you. So they'll probably sign up to your newsletter, even unprompted. We see that a lot with character building and trust building as a goal for brand photography shoots. So that is where that benefit comes from. And lastly, people will then understand your dedication to your craft through being real and raw and open in kind of the journey of you being a business owner in your brand photography and videography. I gave you the example of incorporating all of the things that you value, all the things that you enjoy, like your interests and your hobbies, and potentially printing out old photos of where you came from, your history, where you started and where you are now, because that is going to show dedication to not only you dedicated to your craft, but you also dedicated to serving your audience. All right, guys, to wrap up today, I want to invite you once again to the live stream that is happening on April 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going live to answer your content marketing questions. It is definitely for my small business owners, my crafters, my creatives who really don't have a team of marketing, content, anything like that, and they just want to gain some clarity and they want to understand how to best incorporate content marketing for their business. I'd love to hear from you guys, so definitely drop your questions in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!